it's Friday morning, heading to a Utah Angel Investors meeting. There's a lot of young guys that are getting their businesses started that we're going to take a look at. Just wanted to chat about a couple things. I'm going to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship since I'm going to a meeting where we're meeting with some entrepreneurs. I remember when I first started, I was going to be a doctor. I wanted to be a pediatric cardiologist, and I was going to school at the University of Utah. I was 2 months away from taking the MCAT, and I got in a major car accident, severed all the tendons in my hand. They didn't know if I'd ever have the dexterity to be a surgeon again, and so they said, well, you could be a normal doctor. I said, you know what? I don't want to be a regular anything. I said, if I'm gonna be a garbage man, I'm gonna own the dump. If I'm not gonna be in a position to be a surgeon, I didn't want to just be a surgeon. I want to be a heart surgeon on children, a pediatric cardiologist. I was working up at a primary children's hospital. A wonderful good spirit with those kids. I just felt like that would be an important mission of mine. Fortunately, now I've found other things to do to help children. But so I had a mentor that came to me and he said, Paul, why do you want to be a doctor anyway? To be honest, I want the money. I'll go to school for 12 years so I can drive a Ferrari. And he said, Paul, he said, you have a unique gift with people, so much so that I'm willing to be your mentor. I'm not going to loan you any money. I don't want to work together with you, but if you do what I teach you to do, you'll be a millionaire by the time you're 30 and you'll have the time to enjoy it. I said, okay, what do I do? He said, the first thing you have to do is you have to learn how to sell and you have to learn how to handle rejection. He said, every business owner that I know that's ultimately successful has figured out how to do those things, because ultimately you're either selling your product, you're selling your idea, you're selling yourself and your abilities. These guys that we're going to see today and are trying to sell their ideas and their investment opportunity to people who have been successful in the past in business. And so my mentor said, you have to learn how to handle rejection and you have to learn how to sell. And he said, I suggest you quit your job at the hospital, find a job that's going to teach you those things. I ended up finding a job at a call center selling children's videos, and I went in there. I remember there was 350 people working, and two of them were making, majority of the guys were making 20 sales a week. So there's 350 plus employees. Majority of the people were making about 20 sales a week. There's two guys that were making 70 sales a week. And my mentor said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take them to lunch on your dime. I want you to study what they're saying, ask for audio transcripts of what they're saying, and learn. He says, you're gonna work to learn, don't work to earn. He said, if for one day you're there for a paycheck, you're wasting your time. He said, because you don't want to be a telemarketer the rest of your life. He said, this is an opportunity for you to learn certain skills. And he says, in any job that you have the rest of your life, if you're working for somebody else, you're there to learn, not just for a paycheck. Don't waste your time just trading hours for dollars, because you'll do that forever. So I did. I took these guys to lunch. I studied what they were saying, and within a few weeks, I was making 70 plus sales a week like them. I went into my boss and I said, look, what's the record? What's the top sales that have ever been made here? And he said, it was like 210 or something like that. And so I asked him, I says, if I beat that record, what do I get? He says, what do you want? And he had this Mont Blanc pen on his desk, and I remember that was so cool. I mean, to actually have a pen that cost a few $100s. Now realize, beating that goal, I'm sure he would have earned plenty more than that. So I told him, I says, I want your Mont Blanc pen if I can beat that goal. And he smiled and he says, absolutely. So anyway, I was talking to my mentor. My mentor says, okay, next lesson is, he said, the most valuable piece of real estate that you will ever own is the 6 inches between your ears. He said, developing that, educating that. He says, and a lot of it is things you're not going to learn in school. He said, there are amazing programs, audio programs on business and success and selling and people skills and leadership and finance, and you're driving in your car to work every single day. From now on, for the rest of your life, I don't even want you to know if your car radio works. I want you to turn your car into a university on wheels and listen to audio programs everywhere you go, every time you get in the car. And I got to the point where I would not only listen to them, the audio programs, I figure out how to turn them on like 1.5 speed so I can listen to them about this fast. I could still understand what they were saying, but it didn't waste so much time listening to them talk at this speed. And so I just devoured those programs. He said the other thing you need to do is read books. He says read a book every single month and listen to at least an hour a day of audio programs that are going to be motivational and self-help and inspirational and educational. He said if you do that every single day and you read a book every single month, he says 3 months from now nobody will know that you're doing it. 3 years from now everybody you know that will know that you're doing it. He says in 30 years from now, most of the world will know that you've been doing it because you become the best in your field and you'll be a powerful leader and influence the lives of millions of people. And that was inspiring to me. So that's what I did. Went back into the office and the call center. I was making phone calls. That next week, I was studying all of the closing techniques on these programs and studying everything I was learning from those two guys I was taking to lunch every day. And that next week I went in and made 218 sales. Again, the average person was making 20 sales a week. And I got my Mont Blanc pen